Hey everyone, so today I wanted to share with you all something that I know a lot of agency owners struggle with. You might be struggling with it as well, and it's how to pick a service that you can learn and start to offer as a skill in your business. So I'm going to tell you how I picked my service and why. I hear so many people say they want to start a business or they have a business idea, but they're not exactly sure what type of service they should offer or what high income skill that they should learn in particular. So I'm going to give you my reasons. Hopefully they help you. It's not to tell you that you have to pick one certain area or not. It's just giving you my personal experience, and hopefully it can help you come to a decision if you are stuck with that. So when I decided to start my business, I was so confused about what to do, which direction I should go in, what type of service I should pick, and all that other stuff. And like all of us, I saw heaps of people online saying all different things about what you should start, why this is good and why this is bad. And it can get very confusing and overwhelming, especially when you've already got so much you're thinking about in regards to what type of service you should provide, how are you going to do this all for the first time, and it can just get a little bit too much. So what I did after looking at so many different options was I picked the three that caught my attention the most and that I felt the most interested in. And those three were Google ads, Facebook ads, and social media content. So first I looked into Facebook ads and I quickly realized that everyone and their families were doing Facebook ads and offering that to businesses. I felt like everyone was doing it, probably because there were so many influencers at the time, saying it's probably the best option to go for and how it worked for them and showing their results and things like that. But I quickly realized that almost everyone was picking that particular service for that reason, because I was seeing so many others, getting results, making money from it and things like that. So they kind of, picked the easy way and went straight into that direction without really considering other options. So for me, I quickly realized that that's probably not the direction I want to go in, and I kind of wanted to do something that wasn't as common. Now, this is not to say that Facebook ads doesn't work. It's still a great service to offer. It's still a very high in demand service as well. I know people who've made it work quite well even today. But like I said, I just personally didn't want to get into it as much for the reason of everyone trying to do it as well. So I wanted to go into a direction that I felt I could stand out more in. So then I started to look into social media content, and that did seem cool at first. And don't get me wrong, there is a lot of benefits to that. If you're the creative type, that'll probably be the direction you'd want to go in. Because there's a lot of different platforms you can decide to work with the businesses on. You can obviously design and create a lot of different types of content, whether it be photo content, video content, things like that. But for me, as interesting as it did sound, I realized that there probably later down in the future, there wasn't going to be as much tangible return on investment evidence that I can give businesses to show them, that I can make these particular promises to them that could actually make them, direct money from. I feel with social media, I personally felt that, you can get them followers or an audience, which is very important these days, don't get me wrong, but there wasn't clear return on investments that you can promise someone and say, if I do this for you, I can get you, five times your money or whatever it is in particular, return on investments, other things that you can promise on other platforms. So that is definitely a good option still to go for. But for me, I just felt like I wanted to go somewhere that I can actually see a bit more clear results that I can provide for businesses to be able to show them what I am capable of doing for them. That can show them clear, tangible results that can improve their business in a monetary way. So then I looked into Google Ads, and Google Ads for me stood out for two particular reasons. The first reason was I knew it had potential to deliver very strong results for clients if done right, which gave me a clear indication that, if I learn the service properly, if I really understand the foundations and really get in-depth knowledge about it all, that I can actually perform this service to a high standard to a lot of businesses and get them really strong results. And the second reason was I liked the idea of being able to learn a particular ad platform that wasn't as common as what everyone else was doing, such as Facebook ads, but still had the ability and the potential to have a lot of leverage in my advantage to be able to offer to other businesses that wasn't as common, and maybe not a lot of businesses were getting contacted about that they can provide that particular service for them. And also personally, I have a marketing background, so I was always leaning more towards kind of the advertising side of things, which is why I was more narrowing down my options to ad platforms personally because of my background in marketing. So Google Ads did really relate to what I was interested in and what I felt that I was able to, to learn to a high standard. And yeah, that's pretty much how I came to the conclusion of what particular service I should pick. Now, I know there's a lot of different ways and methods that people tell you about how to pick a service. I may or may not have gone about it the best way, but I just wanted to share with you why I decided to pick that particular service. And like I've mentioned before, how I started to learn it all was I started to watch a lot of videos and things like that, which I've explained already in another video. So you can check that out if you want as well. And many other people will tell you that picking a service, you don't pick that first, you pick the target audience or the niche or the problem that you want to solve. And now, knowing what I do know about business, that is probably the best way to go about it. And I would probably do that moving forward. Or if in the future I wanted to kind of start another business or whatever it may be, I would do it that way. But that's just my experience. I didn't really know that at the start. I just, wanted to pick something and start to learn it and then hopefully make it into a business. But, if I can give you some advice from what I've learned now, it's definitely, find a problem first in a market and then see what service you can provide to help solve that problem. That's probably the way I would recommend now. So if you are stuck at the moment or you're not sure about what particular business idea or service you want to provide, do it that way. See a problem in a market, one that you feel you can help solve, and then find what particular skill you can do around that to then offer it to businesses and telling them, hey, look, I can solve this particular problem. Because obviously you would have done your market research and stuff like that beforehand, having come to the conclusion of the problem before picking a service to provide. So to sum it up, that's how I came to the decision to pick my particular service and business idea. Again, I'm not saying it's the best way to go about it, but that's just my experience, and hopefully you guys can relate to it or get any sort of help from it by just watching and hearing about how I did it all. So hopefully, you can get some sort of direction from it. I know it can get very overwhelming online with people telling you, no, don't do this, do that instead. And then you see someone else saying the complete opposite. So like I said, if you are stuck, just narrow it down to a few options that, you feel you can resonate with the most or are the most interested in. And then go from there. Start to learn as much as you can. And if you don't like it, no problem, you can always change. But try and get an understanding as early as possible so you don't waste too much time. But don't feel like once you pick something, you have to stick to it the whole time. Get a bit of an understanding of each of them and then pick which one you feel you can, dive deep into and learn a lot more about. And that way you can, have that high income skill for yourself to then start to leverage and use it for your business idea and start to offer it to other businesses. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you got some benefit and some knowledge out of this. And if you do have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I'll definitely get back to you guys and give you any advice that I can or any sort of help from my experience that I've learned recently. Thanks again for watching. Take care.